Hello, welcome back to my channel. So this is just completely crazy. Like, Jamal Bryant is at it again. If you've been following me for a while, you know how I feel about Jamal Bryant. I don't understand why he feels like he's in the position to lead people to Christ, to God, to Allah, to Buddha, to whoever. I don't understand how people are still following this man. I don't, because he's definitely living by his flesh. Okay, he's definitely living by his flesh. And I'm not here to judge anybody, but at the same time, I'm not trying to lead people. I'm not trying to be the example. I'm not trying to be the prototype either. So I ain't got a binder. Okay, I got a clipboard, but we gonna get into this mess. So, if you do not know, Jamal Bryant took to his Instagram tonight to respond to Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 1, where his alleged indiscretions became the most explosive part of the reunion. Okay, and basically Monique had a binder. She came, with the shits, and her first target, her first victim was Giselle, which is like an easy target because Giselle has decided to take Jamal Bryant back into her personal life. So Monique said a lot of disparaging things about him, a lot of things that we've already heard before, and it's not sitting well with him, and now he's come out to respond. Now, if it were any other man, any other husband, boyfriend, whatever, on the show, I wouldn't have a problem with them coming out to defend themselves. I would not. But I am a firm believer that when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to religion, these people have to be held to the standard that they want the title of. If you want to be called a pastor and looked upon as a pastor and a leader in this world of religion and Christ and God, you should not be acting like everybody else, because you're supposedly not everybody else. You're supposed to be moving people from this type of behavior, not engaging in it. So that's my issue from jump. So let me just go through the little points that I wrote down of this whole response from Jamal Bryant. Okay, so he opens up with his binder, playing on Monique and her binder. And the first thing he wants to say is that he made a bad judgment call by engaging with Real Housewives of Potomac. He talks about how he was never in support or agreement with Giselle being on the show. And because he was trying to reconcile with her, he decided to come on the show, and he regrets it. And it was a bad judgment call. Okay? So then the first person that he addresses is the alleged woman. Well, she's not alleged because he basically admitted it. So basically, he's addressing the woman who sent the text message. So basically, he was saying that him and Giselle have been divorced for 10 to 11 years. So first of all, he was letting people know that he was not messing around with anybody else because he's single, okay? And so he's saying that him and this woman was dating. She's from New York. She's a pastor as well. And basically, he was like, they were dating. It didn't work out. He kind of felt like she was shady and that she wasn't trustworthy. And basically, he's like playing into what's happening right now by saying, he was on to something because of what she did. Now, from what I'm gathering from him, because he was being very vague when it came to this woman and why she's, acting this way. Basically, he's saying that she's a clout chaser. She just wanted to use him for opportunities, and he kept denying her. And this is why she's come out and exposed some of their text messages. Okay. So then he goes And the reason why I'm saying that she exposed some of the text messages, because Jamal kept insisting that, hey, if you're gonna, put the text messages out there, put all of the text messages out there. Put out there when you were trying to come visit me and I kept telling you no and I kept denying you and I kept ignoring you. Put all of that out there too. So then he was like, basically saying that this same woman sent these messages to like 25 different bloggers. Nobody picked it up. So she ended up sending the messages to all the women on the cast except Giselle. And so he's like, well, if you want to be all about women empowerment, why didn't you send these same receipts to Giselle so she could, have the information? He was like, no, you did it this way because you wanted her to be dragged and dogged out. So basically, he was like calling out her character like, you're really not about woman empowerment. So then he addresses people, criticizing him about his relationship with his daughters. And he was like, when y'all didn't see me at the photo shoot with my daughters, it wasn't my problem. It was because I was in Africa, and when I was trying to travel back to be there for the photo shoot, I got stuck in Germany for 6 hours. And so then he was saying, him and his daughters have a great relationship, but he was like, at the same time, you need to understand that, roller coaster. Then he went on to address Giselle's father, because during the season, Giselle's father was, basically not here for them reconciling in that, way. And so he was like, you know what? I honor Giselle's father. He's an elder. I was raised to respect my elders. And so I'm going to just leave it at that. Okay. So then he gets on Monique. And I ain't going to lie. He spilled some tea. Okay. But who wants a pastor that spills tea? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for the little information because, it's messy and it's a key. But at the same time, it's like, I would rather it be from somebody, not a pastor, not a leader, a flock, okay? So anyway, when he gets to Monique, he's like, this lady sent all this information to a lot of people and you decided to take the bait. And he was like, I understand why you decided to take the bait, because you're trying to redirect the attention from the fact that your baby is not your husband's child. It's your trainer's baby or whatever. And he was like, and you think that Giselle was the one that leaked that information. But he was like, it was actually your best friend that leaked that information. I don't know anything about that. Okay. So then he says, alleges Chris. Oh, so then he goes low. And basically he's saying that Chris suffers from CTE, which is a disease because of, constant head trauma, because Chris was a football player, I believe. And he said that a lot of Chris's ex-teammates hit him up and was like, don't even respond because he's suffering with this CTE or whatever. Then basically, from what I'm understanding, he's alleging that Chris is abusive towards Monique. And he's saying, this ain't alleged, this is like fact. Like he have proof that this is what's happening in their household. Okay. So, oh my God. So then, and this is where the tea comes into play as far as Potomac reunion is concerned, because he says, Jamal said he told his whole congregation to watch Potomac reunion because there's going to come a point where Chris physically attacks Giselle and Robin, and security has to restrain him. Okay. And lastly, he said, don't come for me unless I invite you. Okay. And then he goes on this whole tangent listing all the things that he has to do besides this, like feeding the hungry and, getting people to vote so he can change the nation and all this type of stuff. And then he goes into his same speech that he does anytime he's caught up. So he closes with his same old tired speech where basically he's saying that people get away with, you know, telling lies on him like this because of his past, and people believe it because of his past. And it's like, you know what, Jamal Bryant, you have said this so many times before, and I've made countless videos about how Jamal Bryant needs to come off the pulpit. But at this point, there are boards that can deal with this situation. So if Jamal Bryant is still pastoring churches, even though he is showing that he is living deep in the belly of his flesh, that's what y'all want. That's what y'all are, you know, glorifying. So at this point, it is what it is. You guys tell me how you feel about this whole messy situation. If Monique and Chris respond, then I'll be back to give my take on that.